right, Donald Trump today launching a new line of attack against Hillary Clinton. He even has a new nickname for her. Watch.
I hope you will compare what I'm proposing to what my opponent is talking about. So I may have short-circuited.
Okay, he's having a little fun there. Clinton says she may have short-circuited during an interview with Fox's Chris Wallace when she said over and over and over again she never lied to the American people regarding her email scandal. Well, the tables have turned, and now Trump is using her own words against her.
She took a little short circuit in the brain. I think that the people of this country don't want somebody that's going to short circuit up here. Okay? Honestly, I don't think she's all there.
So will this line of attack work? Leslie Marshall and Katrina Pearson are back with me. You know, Katrina, short circuit, lie, I guess perhaps short circuit sounds a little better to the American public, but any which way you slice it, that interview with Chris Wallace, that was off. That was off. And I think that she's got to come up with some kind of excuse. Is this an attack plan that you think is really going to work, though, short circuit?
Well, I think this attack, essentially using her own words, is extremely important because in that interview, as you'd mentioned, she lied again. And she just simply can't talk about this issue, not even in front of a fake press conference, and be honest with the American people. And the reason is because she can't. Because then the entire narrative of the FBI blows up because that would show intent. So she's trying to walk a very tight rope here. And the fact that she continues the same line of defense, but everyone knows that she lied, is really going to be terrible for Hillary Clinton because there is a short circuit there, and it's the simple fact that she doesn't want to have a news conference. She doesn't want to answer these questions because she doesn't want to implicate herself even further.
I mean, that, as you said, quasi-news conference, it took 245 days to actually get her to answer some questions from reporters. But Leslie, you know, at the same time, I don't understand why more Americans aren't concerned about the email issue. I mean, for someone to actually just blatantly lie about this, and I do consider, I know you don't, but I do consider this a big problem when someone's emailing classified information on their own server. But that said, it doesn't seem to be resonating. I mean, I just wonder if he's better off focusing on things like the economy, on security, because it seems as though those people that have made up their mind on Hillary Clinton have just made up their mind, and they're willing to overlook things like the private email server and the lying.
I think that's very true, not only for Hillary supporters, but for Trump supporters and for the people that aren't sure who they're going to vote for in November. The name calling is not going to cast a vote in November for one or against another. Quite frankly, when you look at the polls, Donald Trump is losing ground nationally and in battleground states. And short circuit, really foolish terminology by Mrs. Clinton. If she had asked me, I definitely would not advise that terminology. She handed a gift in a sense to Donald Trump, but I don't think it's going to be, it's not going to work in the polls and won't stop people from voting for her in November.
Let me ask you about this. The polls are interesting.
Katrina,
let me just jump in and ask you about the polls, because I've been thinking about this a lot, and I compare it to the Brexit polls, which were basically indicating that there was no way Brexit would actually happen. But what we saw in the case of the UK was that there was this enormous turnout. People just came out of the woodwork to vote, and a lot of them were telling the pollsters one thing, but then they were doing another. Do you think that that could happen in November here?
I have no doubt that that's what's going to happen here. And even if we were talking about a traditional candidate in traditional politics, Ronald Reagan was down by about 20 at this point. There's a lot of time to go. Yeah. We are just now getting ready to start ads. We have the debates, and the reason why this was funny. Why are they writing? Who's writing the obituaries?
The media, the press. I mean, every time you turn around, it's like
that's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say, because Leslie's right. People aren't going to look at this particular incident and make their decision. This was more about the media, Trish, for a week. If you are watching CNN and MSNBC, you probably didn't hear much about that incident on Sunday where Hillary Clinton lied again about what she said to the public, because they were running fake headlines like espionage and devils and babies. This is what the media is doing. They are covering for Hillary Clinton, and Newsbusters even broke a story last week saying that CNN spent 84 minutes on fake Trump controversies and 27 seconds on the hostage payment to Iran.
Why do you think they're doing
the tragedy
that, Leslie?
here?
I mean, Katrina makes a very good point. It's a point that we've brought up over and over again on this network and on this show. Does the left have a vested interest at this point in seeing Hillary Clinton be elected?
I think the left does, but I don't think all media outlets do. And I say that because regardless of the media outlet, when Katrina, when your boss speaks, they're there. And they're there because he gets great numbers and people want to hear what he has to say. But certainly, I find that there's been a lot of negative on Hillary Clinton, and not just now in 2016, but ever since we heard her name and she came on the scene when she was married to a governor in Arkansas, and they set off on a national stage. But yes, I certainly have seen what has been said about other networks like CNN with regard to Hillary. That is not accurate or fair and balanced reporting. Then again, there are some people that feel that the media is not tough enough on Trump. And whether it's babies or whether it's short-circuiting, that's not going to help or hinder either of these candidates in November.
Well, Leslie and Katrina, thank you so much. It is lovely to see you both today.
Thank you,
Great to be
Trish.
here.
Likewise.
Thank you.